Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Caz and Daz show. My name is Caz. On the screen already, we've got who we're here about. We are not faffing about. Did I just introduce myself as Caz?
Yeah.
Can I just... I recognise that we're live, but we're going to do this again. Welcome to the Caz and Daz show. My name is Daz. You can already see who else is on the screen. We've got Caz. Caz, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm Caz. I am Caz.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, good. And we've got Reece Williams, RW Journalism on the social media.
RW_journalism. Thank you.
Boom. There it is. Of the Worcester Wolves fame. Now, just dive straight into it. You are predominantly about the Worcester Wolves men's BBL team. Is that fair to say?
Yes, I have been for the past 2 seasons. However, this season, I wanted to broaden my range with the Worcester Wolves team and sort of help the women's team. As you know, they won the division last year, getting promoted to Division 1. Let's help the women's game grow stronger.
Absolutely. So yeah, the Worcester Wolves. I mean, that seems like a good place to begin, but we're not going to. It seems like a good place. It was a perfect cabinet. Just Reece, do you want to introduce yourself just very quickly so people know who you are?
So there's not really a lot exciting about me, really. I'm a 3rd-year journalism student at the University of Worcester. Started studying this. I just thought it was interesting, really. I want to go into sports, and I'm not the most athletic person in the world, so I would rather go through journalism because you get up courtside and have a front row seat, whereas if you're going to watch the games, you go a little bit further back. So I'd want to go through journalism. I kind of came into the British basketball scene a bit later than everybody else did, and I feel like I'm catching up slowly, but I'm definitely not there yet. Of course, there's so many, you guys are doing a fantastic job, and everyone around the scene is great. So yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of this community, and I cover a lot of different topics as a journalist. Well, I try to. I do loads of different podcasts and YouTube videos and all that other stuff. So I'm a busy man.
Well, I've got to say you're doing an amazing job so far. The content you're putting out it's on point, it's topical, it's to the minute. It's really, really good stuff. And I say that because I recognise that sometimes, we aren't always, but that's how I think, Caz, and tell me if I'm wrong, but we save it up, we save it up for the week. We curate it, and then we just chat about literally everything in this format. But you're doing an amazing job, and Caz, you're definitely you've been in British basketball for the long haul, for the duration.
Yeah, definitely. Since watching Sheffield Sharks since I was 13, 14.
Yeah,
that's a while ago.
Are you about to talk about that shot from 1998?
I can do.
Wait, which
Terrell
side?
Myers.
Whoa, hang on a minute. Whoa, which side? Whose side is she on?
This is where people get, I'm sort of Sheffield at heart because that was the team that I grew up watching. And it's also quite funny to sort of, just drop that in when you're speaking to Adam Masters of Brand 161. Adam, remember that Terrell Myers shot?
Does he remember? He doesn't stop talking about it. It's all he ever mentions. It's like, you're right, Az, how you doing? He goes, no, let me tell you about Terrell Myers, 1998. Let me tell you. And I love him, and we all love him, and we're going to get him back on here again. So you've gotten into British basketball, and now you're making your early steps into women's basketball. May I first congratulate you on a really brilliant decision. And I say that jovially, obviously, but I do mean it, because what I first found because I hadn't watched a lot of women's basketball prior to starting to work in and around the BBL, and then I got my commentary opportunity with Anglia Ruskin, commentating predominantly on their women's team. But it wasn't until I saw the first BBL final that I ever attended as a journalist. How good the women's game was, how great that WBBL final was, and it was the first win for the Sevenoaks Suns. I'm really sorry, I've had a very long day. Really. Sevenoaks Suns, and it was over the Nottingham Wildcats, and it was just such a more exciting game than what we saw in the men's final after it, and that's been the case for a lot of the finals that I've been fortunate enough to cover. The women's game has far and away eclipsed the men's game, with a few rare exceptions. I think women's basketball is amazing. Obviously, that's why we do this show. Well, how have you found it, though? How have you found the early going of your journey in women's basketball?
I feel like it was like a surprise, because like you hear a lot of talk. Like I was like yourself. I didn't watch a lot of women's basketball before my venture into the British basketball scene, and you'd always hear like NBA fans always talk about the WNBA in like a negative light. So you're kind of stepping into it with no expectations. It's kind of a neutral ground. But then you do see these games, and you're like, oh, these girls have a hunger. They have a sort of hunger to show what they're about, because they do have the opportunity to rival the men in this country, especially in the WBBL and the WNBL. All of the women, they are phenomenal. I haven't seen a bad game yet.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I have definitely seen bad games played by women, but I've seen bad games played by men, by children. I've seen bad NBA games. Seen some bad G League games. Let me tell you about that. Like the Westchester Knicks, I will be happy if I never have to see them again. Let's talk about Worcester Wolves. We've got a question or a comment from Chester Donnelly. Big shout to you as always, Chester, for joining us for the live chat. University of Worcester Wolves women's team is amazing. Who is coaching the team? The game against Loughborough. Wow, what a game! So Reece, can you fill Chester in with some of the details?
I can indeed. In fact, I spoke to him today when I went down to the arena. That interview should be going up on the Worcester Wolves ladies YouTube and Facebook pages and all social media around there. The head coach is Brian Emery. He's a very nice guy, but he's a very defensive coach. He is one of the most defensive coaches in the league, and he'll tell you that. He's focused on getting the right mentality of his squad, and he really does create a great atmosphere for those girls. Like you can see it every day in training when they get out on the court. They want to win, and that's something that they take forward as like a family almost.
So let's just dive into the weekend and the weekend more generally. And Caz, shall we start with Team of the Week? Shall we dive in there?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, as is traditional, obviously, Focus Hoops, we have the honour, the privilege of determining Team of the Week. I was actually asked for input for Player of the Week, who my thoughts were, but Team of the Week is ours. And Caz, again, as you can attest, the conversation about who went into it, firstly, it started at about 4 o'clock on Saturday. It finished sometime Monday evening, and it was just non-stop, wasn't it, Caz?
It was. I think I said something controversial, but wasn't sure what it was. So.
Oh, yeah. All right, Team of the Week this week. Player of the Week was Carolina Marquez of the Worcester Wolves, joined by Grace Brownell. McCarna Stone of the Loughborough Student Riders, who lost to the Worcester Wolves in that thrilling game. She makes Team of the Week. Now, she only played 17 minutes, found herself in some foul trouble, but the impact on her team was absolutely remarkable. Like, Chester rightly says, wow, what a game. Rightly so. I hope that's how Chester sounds. Without McCarna Stone, Chester's not saying that, because her and a couple of her teammates, but her in particular, was just such a driving force in that game. I can't remember exactly. I think she finished with something like plus 24.
Yeah.
Outrageous. In 17 minutes, and she got into foul trouble. Satota Jinners Espinosa as well for the Reading Rockets in their remarkable victory at home to the Team Southern Kestrels. Now, I went on Rebound Friday night and I got asked about that game, and I was naively, as it turns out, a bit like, I'm not too sure why you want to know about this game. It should be fairly straightforward for Team Southern Kestrels. Well, I was wrong. Happens occasionally, very rare, that happens. And yeah, Reading, they just knocked it out of the park. Really impressive performance. They also sent Solent to the line, I think it was 40 times in the game. So Solent gave Reading a chance, but Reading took that chance. And also Isabel Burberry for Nottingham Trent in their pretty dominant victory over the Cola Southwark Pride, my apologies. Burberry from the get-go in that game, she was able to do whatever she wanted. There's a great video actually put out by the National League. Can we get that? No, I'll try and get access to that later and we'll talk through it. But she was able just to get where she wanted, do what she wanted, show her strength, her toughness, but also her skill inside. Really, really impressive performance from Burberry. Right, I've spoken a lot. Caz, talk.
I think it's interesting, isn't it? We've got McCann Stone in after, she was obviously great, and it shows that impact that she has on the team in a loss, and that she played, was it 20 minutes?
17
minutes. But again, her rebounding, 11 rebounds, 7 of them offensive. I think she had 11 last week or the week, 11 offensive rebounds in her 18 rebound game. And that just shows that what an integral part of the team that she is. And had she not fouled out, not got into foul trouble, the result maybe could have been a little bit different. Maybe the overtime quarter would have been a little bit closer. But I think it's great for the league that she's there. She's had a great debut last week, and I'm sure it'll continue.
Reece, the answer is perfectly acceptable for it to be no, but did you catch any of the other non-Worcester games this weekend?
I did not, unfortunately. I was a rather busy man.
That's understandable with your BBL commitments as well. What did you make of this game? Obviously, went into overtime, and it was a 15-0 run in overtime to clinch it. Reece, go ahead.
In terms of the Worcester's performance, I don't think that they played very well until the overtime. Grace's clutch shot was unbelievable. She's definitely showing the ice in her veins, that's for sure. It's just unbelievable what they did in that overtime. I do think that Stone going off and getting into foul trouble did actually make the difference. I think maybe next season, if we could see her in a Wolves jersey, I would not be against that. That's for sure.
Well, you might need to offer a PhD, but do it. Yeah, we spoke about it last week. We spoke about Stone last week and how ridiculous it is that she isn't able to play WBBL at this time. I think she needs to go and play pro in Europe before she was able to do that, unfortunately, because she went to a D3 college, even though she's clearly good enough. Let's talk about Brownell, because obviously, like you say, she hit that clutch shot. She's got the ice in her veins. And I thought down the stretch, the final 5 minutes when she came on towards the end, she was just fantastic, wasn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, another one that I spoke to earlier on today. She just possesses so much energy for this team. The chemistry that all of these girls have on this team is phenomenal. They do, as I said earlier, they have that family feel when you go there, and they all have that chemistry. And Grace brings something that a lot of other players in the WNBL might not bring. She brings a lot of energy. She brings a lot of passion, and she lit it up in that overtime quarter. So she's got a lot of qualities that are needed in this league, and she's got a lot of qualities to take her forward even further. So
she had the biggest play in the game, and no, it wasn't sinking the three. It was actually the steal on the inbound. Then they get up the floor, they move it around the perimeter. The Riders weren't defending the perimeter, especially. I think they looked to collapse to protect the paint, which, okay, fair enough. You don't want to give up the 2, and you're going to make him earn it from beyond the arc. And my God, did she nail it then? And then overtime, just casually banked in a 3 from, I think it was the left break. So, I mean, when you're seeing those sorts of shots going, you might as well just pack it up and pack it in, because you aren't winning that game of basketball.
She had 4 of 5 from 3 and 8 rebounds as well, 5 assists and 5 steals. She's doing everything. She's doing everything you need.
How does Greg describe that? What term does he use?
Driving the bus.
Driving the bus. There you go. So that is our bus driver of the week. No? Is that our thing? Yeah.
It should be a thing.
Get a graphic of her with like a flat bus driver's cap on or something. Let's do that. Let's make that a thing. Bus driver of the week. Do you want to talk a bit about Carolina Marquez? Reece?
Oh, what is there not to what is there to not say about Carolina? She's having an absolutely outstanding year. She's played very well in all of the games this season. As all of the Wolves are this season, they're undefeated for a reason. Carolina, like Grace, she brings a lot of fire. She has a lot of that sort of passion that I was talking about with Grace as well, and it's evident to that they put in the hard work on the training on the training facility, and they put it out on the court. They have that drive and the chemistry, and I think this is what I say about all basketball games. Chemistry is better than a team of individuals. And this whole Wolves organization is known for that. Coach Ryan is learning every day about that as well. And I think that the entirety of that team is instilled in team chemistry. And I think Carolina is one of those players that's leading the way for this team and potentially to help them keep this undefeated run.
What did I just hear you say? How many games are the team playing this year? 22? Did I just hear you say 22-0? Is that what I'm hearing?
22-0. 22-0. Let's go.
Let's see how that happens. I was just before this second national lockdown, of course, the Wolves were supposed to come to Anglia Ruskin, come to Cambridge. I was really excited to commentate that game. Really excited to commentate whenever it gets rescheduled. Please do not clash with BBL home fixtures. So yeah, obviously Wolves 3-0, and they've come up against what would you say the toughest game of the season has been? Would you say this on Sunday? Would you say Bristol opening day? I
think Loughborough was probably just above the Bristol game. I think Bristol did not play as well on defense as Loughborough. There's not real, no disrespect to the Barking Abbey ladies. They were obviously not the best on the night, but I do think that Loughborough were tougher just because they were able to take the Wolves into overtime. So 2 very tough games to win. The Bristol Flyers ladies are going to come back stronger the next time that we play them, and that's just going to be a fact. And I'm guessing that the Riders will want that win back as well. So all of these games going forward are not going to be easy. No,
there are no easy games in the National League, because it's basketball. Anybody on their day could, get sent to the line 40 times and hit, or, just get a bit lucky, or just really turn up and you have a cold day. It has happened before. We have another comment from Chester Donnelly. I'm a netball fan. Worcester's tenacious defense, interceptions, passing down the court is so good to watch. It is like the best elements of netball and basketball. What do you make of Chester's assessment? And we don't hold anything against netball fans on this channel.
No, netball's a great sport. It's just a stop and start version of basketball. There's nothing wrong with it. Whereas your evaluation of the Worcester team, absolutely, they focus on defense. The defense is the number one, and it always will be in the coaching book of Brian Emery. They focus a lot on transition play, and they will do that. That's how they force teams inside when they know that they can't shoot, and that's exactly what happened to the Barking Abbey ladies. They were not great outside; they were forced inside, and they couldn't finish at the rim because Worcester's defense was so remarkable on that night.
I want to talk a little bit about moving on from the Wolves, unless there's anything else from the Wolves that you want to talk about for right now.
No, not at the moment.
I want to talk about, and the reason we had a sneak peek of it just moments ago, of Isabel Burberry and her highlights. I'm using this for free use. Hopefully that's all right. Basketball England, if you want to see this in glorious Technicolor, not with us in the corner, Basketball England, NBL England is your place to go. But yeah, just some of the highlights of Burberry from the weekend, because for a minute I was like, oh, player of the week. It didn't quite transpire that way, but she was a huge driving force in getting her team back into things, because they were down, and they were down handily for most of the first quarter. And just look at that rebound. Just, she really imposed her will on the game. Caz, what did you see from Burberry?
Yeah, just like you said, she's helping them come back. When they're down in those positions, she's able to get the rebounds, get to the basket. The way she's getting there is so smooth, and she's getting in the right positions. She's getting her teammates in the right positions, either drawing double teams and able to pass out. And yeah, she had a great game on Saturday. And yes, she was a big part of that, and she's been having a great season so far as well. I'm not sure of her averages, but she's been up there, hasn't she? Most weeks.
Yeah, it's her second team of the week berth, and I think this is week 4 for team of the week, maybe week 5. Reece, obviously you didn't see the game, but just briefly from these highlights, this is a little bit unfair, but hey, it is what it is. What are you seeing?
She's a force inside. I mean, she knows how to get to the bucket. It's unfortunate the first highlight is her being left wide open, and then if you have a player like her caliber, why would you leave her open? She is probably going to be one of the first players on the matchup sheet. You're going to have to be double teaming her in the future. Like, you can't leave her open. That layup there is a great finish, and you can't really leave someone open at the rim who has the finishing ability.
Yeah.
Like that.
Again, that hook shot for me was the best bit of play. And then just driving easy. Too easy for Burberry. I hope she doesn't mind me saying that. Yeah, it was unfortunate. Cola weren't at their top strength. I would have loved to have seen Izzy Ozzy Mamadou going up against her. That is a matchup I need to see. And they were also without Molly Lavin. So that's two really important pieces for the Pride. First half, Pride really pushed Nottingham Trent. They had the lead for large stretches, and then it went away a little bit. Is that every player we've spoken about? I think it is. I think it's every game in the National League last week discussed. So, Reece, let's turn the conversation back to you a little bit. Did you catch any of the WNBA at all? And again, I'm asking you unfair questions that you're not for.
No, I lead a very busy life outside of this. So no, unfortunately, I was not able to.
Well, luckily for you and anybody that didn't see any WNBA action, Caz saw every single minute of every single game, pretty much.
Let's say that, yeah.
We'll just say that because it's literally true. Caz, if we were to send somebody to watch WNBA, and we would because it is great, what games or what teams should Reece be watching? Who would Reece enjoy? I've got an idea of a team Reece might enjoy.
I think you would enjoy Seattle, the Seattle Storm.
That's funny, that is. That's funny because I was playing NBA 2K21 and that is the first team I turned to.
There you go. So then you committed. You're all in. Massive Seattle fan.
Absolutely.
They won the title this year. That might be a spoiler for you if you've not been following it. Sorry. They've obviously got some fantastic players, and they've got such a strong core that they've got such a deep bench as well. That you've got Brianna Stewart, Jewel Lloyd, Jordan Canada, Sue Bird. You just get to watch the way they move the basketball is beautiful, and the way they play together. Everyone's So it fits around everyone's strengths. And one of the games, if you want to watch a game, you should watch the game they played against the LA Sparks in probably mid-August. It was a very good game. Do you remember that one, Darren? There was a controversial ending.
Yeah. Oh, we're awarding wins for out-of-bounds shots, are we? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing?
But up until that point, it was just such a good back and forth. It was a really good advertisement for the WNBA and what the league's about. Two top teams going at it.
Alternatively, game 2 of the finals. Just instant classic.
Yeah.
Instant classic.
Or anything where Kennedy Carter's playing, basically. Who is?
God, here she is. Here she is. That's just
Kennedy Carter's the future of the WNBA.
No. Let me tell you the future of the WNBA is. Let me just get this on me for right now. The future of WNBA is Satu Sabalia. Or anybody else. Carter. Or anybody else from the Dallas Wings. I've accepted it. I finally accepted it. I was playing NBA 2K21. The last gen version that doesn't have the cool women's career mode, so I was very, very angry about that. But never mind. It's fine. Purchase error. Temi Fagbenle, got her on the wings. It's going smoothly so far. 2-0. We showed New York what it's all about.
You see, I'm into this Temi on Dallas. I want it to happen. I want it to happen. A real life Temi on Dallas.
I mean, when Marina Mabry's not playing point guard, they do need somebody to bring the ball up the floor. And I mean that halfway seriously. Like, we saw the job she did for GB, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know. You love to see it. So, Reece, what does the future have in store for you?
For me, I'm just going to dip my hands in as many pots as possible, basketball related. I want my future to be basketball, whether that is continuing with the women's game, the men's game, overseas games. If it's basketball, I'm all in. I also do some stuff with football as well. So I'm quite the sports buff at this point. So we'll just see what the future holds. I mean, I like to think I'm quite young, although my body does not make me feel it sometimes. But yeah, just keeping an open mind is what the best thing to do at this point in my journey.
Absolutely. So when I first set up Split Focus Sports, obviously basketball, football. I used to write for an Argentine football website, but one of the first events that I covered outside of basketball, live and football, was bowling, like bowls, like Crown Green bowling. It was awesome. It was so good. I was so hooked. It was great. You just go somewhere and be like, "Hi, I'm going to write about this event. Can you tell me?" People just like to tell you stuff that they're passionate about, and I really enjoyed that. Now I'm just pretty much purely basketball and Argentine football these days, but my God, that was good fun. What's your most fun? Have you done anything like that? Just going to like a random event and be like, "I want to learn about this and I want to write about this."
No, I haven't. I have yet to experience that spontaneous get up and go attitude when it comes to journalism. No, I've only really journalistically covered basketball, which is quite lucky that I've sorted my niche right away. But I've really only done the press releases and sort of journalism like assignments on the Worcester Wolves is what is like my go-to at this point. Whether it's match reports or stuff like that. So I will hopefully be going out to see some football soon. Like I've been invited by the chairman of Worcester City FC, so I can go and view that. But as of now, I'm yet to go and experience myself some bowls yet.
Are they Conference South, Worcester City?
I think they're around there. Yeah. Not too sure specifically, but
that's where the real football is. That and the Welsh Premier, the Cymru Premier, should I say? The bowls. It was mad. It was good fun. Caz, have you got any questions for our Reece?
If you it's a bit of a wild question. What would be your ultimate team to follow? If you like to write for, if you were like the beat reporter for.
Ooh, that's a very good question. It's weird that I'm in the hot seat. I'm always used to being in your guys' position. So I'm like, oh no, I've actually got to come up with some answers. But if it was basketball, I'd have to go with the team I support. It would be the Miami Heat.
Oh, nice.
I love the Miami Heat. I was there before LeBron James. Everybody, calm down. I got hooked on Dwayne Wade back in. I watched the highlights.
Oh, that's so much better, isn't it? Whoa, I wasn't there for like the greatest player in our history. I was there for like the second greatest player in history. So it's fine, though.
Yeah, I can't be labeled as a bandwagoner then. So it's okay.
Yeah, true, fair point.
It's hard to be born earlier as well.
Exactly. I was born in '99, so I can't exactly go back. So yeah, I think the Miami Heat would be a golden place to be, especially right now. They have a lot of interesting moves that they're going to be making with Pat Riley in 2021, I'm guessing. So yeah, I think it would either be them, or if I would have to switch sports and go to football, it would probably be Liverpool. My or other love. Well, I call it love. It's a lot of frustration at the moment. But,
it's got to be so tough winning the Premier League, and everybody loving your manager. It's got to be horrible.
We've got a Brazilian that can't score.
You want to hear about frustration? You want to hear about? Let me talk. I apologise. I'm just going to railroad this into Pressing Club UK chat. We just got rid of our director of football, who is a legend at the club, Diego Milito, one of our best ever players, one of our most important people, and he's been forced out because of nonsense. He has shaped this football club since he came back in 2014, and this is a moment of silence. Yeah. I'm so hungry. Me and Nacho are gonna have words about this on the next podcast. Caz, that was a great question. Got any more questions for Reece?
Yes. So you think Worcester could go unbeaten this season? Who do you think will be their toughest opponent in the league?
I think this one could be the upcoming game against Ipswich could be their toughest yet. But then again, this team is unproven in the Division 1 so far.
This Ipswich team are really good as well, aren't they? They're so stacked. They'll be tough. Yeah. That'll be an interesting game. I'll be looking forward to that one.
They are.
Sorry,
I was just going to say they are stacked, but the thing that we keep neglecting to say is they've come through together. Mm-hmm. They've not just been like, oh, we'll poach you. It's like, oh, here are all these kids that we've produced through our academy for years, and now they're coming to fruition in this like golden age of Ipswich basketball. Sorry, Caz. Sorry, Reece. Karen.
That's okay. Like I think that speaking to I spoke to Shanice Turner as well today and both all of the guys are like, this is going to be a really tough challenge. This Ipswich team. So hopefully the home court advantage helps this weekend. But I think if team chemistry carries on, why not believe that this team can go 22-0?
Yeah. Exactly, and that's the beauty of sports. Could happen.
Exactly.
Is that your game of the week, everybody? Worcester Wolves versus Ipswich?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Other games this week, we've got Loughborough Riders women taking on Thames Valley Cavaliers, apparently at 1:00 on Saturday at Loughborough. So if that does happen, that's awesome. It'll be the first outing for Thames Valley this year. And
I'm looking forward to watching Thames Valley as well, actually. See what they can do when they get started.
I'm looking forward to seeing Emma Bush playing basketball again. And of course, Faith,
yeah.
Who was on our very first episode. And the other game at 2 p.m. Can we not schedule our games so that they're not happening at the same time? There's 3 of them. I appreciate travel is a thing, but I don't know, whatever. 2 p.m. Nottingham Trent University taking on the Reading Rockets from the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. Other games were postponed this weekend, unfortunately.
Are we a week away from the teams that decided not to play during the lockdown coming back? So like Anglia Ruskin should be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, the Ruskins should be back. I think they should be back next weekend. The game on Sunday, 2 p.m. Team Silent Kestrels taking on Nottingham Trent University at the Solent Sports Complex. down in Southampton. Beautiful place to go and see some basketball. And yeah, let's just look at for the 5th. Currently, no postponements, and it's big. All right, Barking Abbey, London Lions versus Loughborough. That'll be an interesting game. I'm intrigued to see that. Thames Valley Cavaliers versus Reading Rockets, the fierce local derby. Nottingham Trent University taking on the Worcester Wolves at the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. And on FocusHoops, unless London Lions arrange a fixture, Anglia Ruskin University versus the Team Silent Kestrels from the Stephen Pearce Foundation. That's right, the bunker is back. Get hype. Yeah. Anglia Ruskin back on your televisions, assuming you stream it from Facebook onto your television. Get excited. Reece, you excited?
I'm always excited. I'm always excited.
I can't wait for that. It's going to be so good. Anglia Ruskin's back. I've missed it a lot. So, Reece, we've taken up a lot of your time, which has been great. Thank you for joining us. Caz, I'm just going to remove you briefly, unless you've got a final thing to say for Reece, because Reece is going to say some stuff, and then we're going to allow him to get on with his evening.
Can I just highlight a really awesome interview that Reece did with Sammy Roscoe, which obviously big Manchester fan, and I've been following Sammy in Germany. Not literally, that'd be weird, but she's having a great season so far. And you did a really cool interview with her, I think, later in the summer. So we should like retweet that with this.
We absolutely will. Well, Caz, I'll tell you what, as I'm going to kick you out of this for just a moment, now's your chance.
I'll do it.
All right, Reece, the reason that I have booted you out of here and switched our faces is because ordinarily I do the charity chat, okay? And we love doing that. Every week, 1 or 2 good causes we love to try and highlight, promote. And if you've got some money, please give it to these causes because we genuinely think they're a good, worthwhile cause. And if you can't, that's absolutely fine. But what is free is a share on social media. Get your dog's Facebook account to share it. If you don't want to share it yourself, that's absolutely fine. Okay, Reece. Boom.
It's my face.
It is.
So yeah, this is we're coming to the end of this now. We're on the 26th. After this, I'm actually going to go and do my 26th hour. So this is my 30-hour cycle for Mind, and you can't exactly tell on the camera as well. I'm also kind of doing Movember, but I can't grow facial hair. So, but yeah, 30 hours for mental health. Mental health is a really tough subject for a lot of people. I struggled with it a lot during the first lockdown, and I know a lot of people did. So me and the rest of my university group, we all decided that we were going to raise some money. One of my close mates that I run my football podcast with, Joe, is running 1 mile per day. Another person on my course is cycling 100 kilometers this month. So we're all doing our part, and I think that we're currently on a grand total of about £600 for Mind. So if anyone has any spare pounds, I know that Christmas is coming up, so it's quite the awkward time for it. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind donating, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Well, thank you so much for that. Just before we say goodbye to you, let's bring Caz back in as well. There it is. Chester Donnelly back again for the very 4th time. Reece, you should report on the 7 stars when Netball Super League 2021 starts. Just don't tell them they're playing a stop-start version of basketball. Yeah. So there you go. That is your impulsive reporting job sorted right there by Chester Donnelly for you.
Absolutely, I would love to report on the 7 stars. I mean, I know quite a few people in my year that do play netball, and I've gone to a few of those games for the university team. I know that varsity is a thing, so hopefully maybe go and see some of that. But netball is something I'm definitely open to going and seeing. So absolutely.
Another one, volleyball. Volleyball's a cracking sport to go and watch. ARU always have a volleyball game going on around the time of their Bucks games. Reece, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being a part of the women's basketball movement. Can we say movement, Caz? Is that too much?
Yeah, say movement. It's a movement.
For being part of the women's basketball movement in this country and doing what you have been doing for the Worcester Wolves women's team. They're a very exciting team. We will see if they are able to go unbeaten. Can they beat Ipswich this weekend? Reece thinks they can. We'll have a little bit of a chat maybe about whether or not we think that is realistic. But maybe, I mean, who knows? Who knows? It's going to be a fascinating battle because you've got the ultra defensive Wolves versus the gung-ho, we are going to run you into the ground Ipswich. But remember, Kohler took them to overtime the other day.
And Worcester were down 9, 3.5 minutes left. Took it to overtime. So, don't count them out.
There we go.
Don't count them out. All right, Reece, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you very much. It's an absolute honour to have been featured.
Thank you. All right. Really appreciate that. It's really kind words. We're going to see you soon.
Yep, absolutely.
Take care.
Thanks, Reece.
Okay. So a huge thank you again to Reece Williams for joining us. That was awesome. And it's so cool to speak to a young up-and-coming journalist who's got such a passion for British basketball, isn't it, Kat?
Absolutely, definitely. And, you know, it's a great thing, isn't it, for him to be able to be involved in and then, you know, see where his career takes him and goes. And I love his enthusiasm for basketball, for the women's game, for the men's game. It's just great to see.
It's infectious. I wonder if he'll have us on his show. Do you reckon? You should do that. I think you should do that. Let's do that. All right, we're going to go for a quick break, and then I'm going to talk about one more charity thing before we crack on to Rincon Caz.
Word from our sponsors, Notch, the mark of achievement, and we are very glad to have them on board with FocusHoops this year. They make fantastic bracelets that look super stylish and really help you celebrate your sporting achievement. They've just launched a basketball collection, and we're really excited to be on board with them. Let's imagine that you're a player. Let's say that you're Courtney Vandersloot. You got 18 assists in a single ball game, and you want a notch and a bracelet to commemorate that fact. Well, you can do just that. Customize it to your team colors, put the year that you achieved it, and get it the exact size that you need. There are a number of the colors available. Or maybe you're a coach. Maybe you're the coach of a basketball team. Let's just say that you're the London Tyrannosaurus Rex. Your team wears red. You had the league's most valuable player, the MVP, and you want to celebrate that. You want to award them with a great looking notch bracelet. Well, you can do just that. And you can get it saying MVP on the notch itself. That's the charm. You can get the colour you want. Gold is one that I'd go for if we're commemorating the best player in the league. We could even get the team logo, if it's the Tyrannosaurus Rex, let's say, on there. And present it in a beautiful presentation case. Huge thanks for Notch for coming aboard FocusHoops.
And we are back. I just want to talk very quickly. This is the last time I'm going to do this little charity bit. But a week ago or so now, Colin Bay's long-standing kitman Brian Kelly sadly passed away. Now, initially, it was a fundraiser for his funeral costs if people were able to contribute. But that has been reached. That goal has been eclipsed. So now any money going into this is going to a really great charitable cause. So if you are able to go and check it out and just see if that cause means something to you, and if you'd like to donate, absolutely do. The comment is not the comment. The link is not currently in the description. I will add it later, and I will share it out on our social media. But again, huge thank you to anybody who did contribute to either the funeral funds for Brian Kelly's funeral, or afterwards with that money just going to a brilliant charitable cause. So again, cheers, thank you, and thoughts with everybody at Colin Bay Football Club and Brian Kelly's family. All right, Caz, we have returned. It's been a week, hasn't it, mate? It's been a week.
It has.
So, how is? Have you got any WBBL news for us?
I've not got any news, but I've got like a recap of last weekend's game with Manchester and Newcastle. If you'd like that. We've not had any. Actually, there's been a couple of signings. A couple of juniors have been promoted to the WBBL teams this week. So it's good opportunities for younger players. But yeah, if you want me to break down Manchester and Newcastle. which
break
is
break it down.
So this was a good game. This was a good game. I was having a little bit of a problem with the feed, so it was a little bit hit and miss for the first half. So I think I missed some of the better things. Which you know, it's these things are going to happen, aren't they? This season, a lot of the technology and stuff that teams are doing, it's new. You know, it's not always going to be perfect first time. I just really wanted to watch this game, but they sorted it out for the second half, which, you know, it's fine. And then the game's up on YouTube for you to rewatch back in full.
Oh, really? For free?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
After the event, so that's good. I don't know if that was because they had issues or if they just do that generally. But yeah,
that would definitely be one to watch.
Yes, definitely would. The score finished 78-68 to Newcastle. Newcastle were up 17 in the second quarter. They kind of came out the gate straight away. Just really looked very dominant, causing a lot of turnovers, 24-second violations for Manchester. Some of the Manchester shots weren't dropping, like we saw in the previous game against Leicester. And then second quarter, third quarter, the Mystics just went on a run and they put together a really, really strong full third quarter and probably the last 3 or 4 minutes of the second to level the game at the end of the third quarter. They dropped off a little bit in the fourth and then they were outscored, by 10 points in the fourth, so that's where the loss came from. But this for me was the run that they had. It shows what this team can do. It shows what Manchester can do. It was Helen Naylor's first game.
Obviously, of course.
Fit into the Mystics rotation there. Sophia Song, who, you know, we were talking about just before the season started, went off 25 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. She was just dropping threes from everywhere. And it's so exciting for me to see a player that you've read about, you've seen, and then see them come out and do what you sort of not expect, but are excited to see what they can do. And I think Manchester have got a lot of players like that, and they generally have, well, for me through the years to see. Rhian Bailey, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists and 3 steals. Ebony Horton had a great game, 15 points, 2 rebounds and 2 assists. She had 1 steal, but the defense that she plays, she forces players into a lot of difficult positions where she might not, you know, get the steal initially, but she causes the turnover. And the defense she plays is really, really strong. And a couple of the commentators that were on the Newcastle game were saying that she was a player that had really impressed them. And I think she's got a very bright future. Going ahead, obviously on the Newcastle side, Alison Gorell, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and Maddie McVicker, 21 points, 10 rebounds, double there. Newcastle looked really strong, but I think this was a really positive game for Manchester coming off the Leicester game, which obviously didn't, you know, go the way that they would have wanted.
Not quite.
But I think this will have given them, you know, they'll have obviously wanted to get the win, but I think this will have, you know, sort of given them that confidence back. Helen Naylor went scoreless, played quite a bit, but again, as we were saying before, first game, needs to come in and embed in the team. That's nothing to worry about. Helen Naylor's a fantastic player, and they just need to click a bit more. I think maybe I was a bit too overconfident in saying that they wouldn't need too long to click this season, and I'll hold my hands up and admit that. But you know, these are the cup games as well. Let's look at the league. When the league starts as well, they've had a few games to get in. If they work out those issues that they're having, start getting into the league, it's going to be tough because they're a really strong team, and it's exciting to see where they're going. And Newcastle were very good as well. They were very strong. And Newcastle Manchester is the first league game for both of them in 3 weeks. So that'll be an interesting rematch back at Bellevue.
Yeah, I hate to take things to a men's basketball direction, but talking about a player playing almost as advertised, you know, we're seeing that with the London Lions with DeAndre Liggins.
Yeah.
He is everything we hoped, and I think more. Same with teams gelling. London Lions struggled. Oh, now they're clicking. Now they're getting it, and it does take time. We've seen that down the journey. Question for either of you from Chester Dudley. Again, Chester, absolutely love the questions. Thank you so much for being such an active member of the Focus Hoops family. If you want to be like Chester, get your comments in the chat, either now, live, or after we respond to every single question that we get. Question for either of you. Do you think the TV deal between BBL and Sky Sports could lead to WBBL being broadcast on Sky Sports? It's a great question. Thank you very much. As I understand it, presently, no. I don't believe that there is any opportunity for the WBBL to go onto the BBL under this current Sky Sports package. Now, as you'll probably remember, Chester, and everybody watching this, when the BBC had the Monday night games, it'd be a women's game at 5:30, followed by a men's game at 7:30, which was cool. Except women's basketball at 5:30 p.m. on a Friday is just kind of a joke. The basketball wasn't a joke. The basketball was awesome. Like one of my favorite performances by Ashley Arlen against Barking Abbey happened on the Friday night game, and she was just dominant. She just battered him. She's tough, but it'd be good to see. Hopefully, we will see. Women's basketball being put front and center on TV at some point, and maybe it does open the door. I don't think it does right now at this time. I think if the clubs had closer connections, some of them, like the top women's clubs and the top men's clubs, because we just don't have that at all, really, do we? Like the top women's teams in the country, Leicester have links. Barking Abbey are better this year, London Lions, Barking Abbey, but otherwise, you got the Wildcats, got Seven Oaks. Why am I struggling with Seven Oaks so much today? Manchester, I don't know. Caz, what do you think? I've rambled.
Yeah, I think you're right. The connection is the important thing. I mean, I think it should, and I would like it to. Yeah. And it would be, something maybe that in the interim might work. Something like the BBC Red Button used to do, where you have I don't know who's going to show the BBL finals, player finals, cup, trophy finals this year. But if that is something that is on Sky, you would hope that they do a double header with the men's game and the women's game as a bit of an advertisement. And as we've said, those women's games in the finals tend to have been the closer, the more exciting games of the two. I mean, it'd be fantastic for the Women's Basketball League to be on something mainstream, whether it's a cable channel, Sky, or some of the free sports, some of the free channels that are on Freeview, BBC. The BBC have done a decent job the last couple of years with getting some of the games on the Red Button or through their web version of that. And obviously, something like that would be a massive boost to the league. All you need is people to see it. You need people to see it, to get invested in it, and you build it, and it grows. So it would be a fantastic thing to see.
Which is why, in terms of National League, in terms of WBBL, I want to see people just throwing it out there at people. Get as much of it in front of people as possible. And I'm not talking about give away free tickets, but I'm just talking about put the games on online and get people watching it, and as many people as possible to view the games, because that way you're likely to increase interest, increase fans, hopefully, to the product.
And now is probably a perfect time as well. Teams can stream. People are essentially stuck at home, aren't you? Where can you go? Everything's shut if you're in Manchester. And you're watching it, and then your next season comes around this time next year. You think, I enjoyed watching that. Buy some tickets, for people to go and see it, and you can get people in at the moment. So everyone that's got games, just spam it everywhere.
Yeah, it's almost a shame that the WBBL wasn't able to maybe get out in front of the BBL, or something like that, and come back earlier. But obviously, that was always going to be tough given the nature of the two leagues. I think that's dealt with that question pretty well. Caz, are there any games coming up this weekend that you're particularly intrigued by?
Yes, to keep me on the same track, Manchester and Nottingham is going to be a very good game. So it's the last of the cup round. So in order for Manchester to qualify, they would need to win, and I think Leicester would need to lose either by 10 or Manchester need to win by 10, some sort of variation of it. But I'm looking forward to seeing Nottingham play Jasmine Joyner, and it's that they have a Portuguese player, Simone Costa, I think it is. It's just escaped my memory. And I'm looking forward to seeing them play because they've just been the talent again that they've got on that roster is just so strong, and they're going to be a really, really good team to watch. I think the other game is Leicester Newcastle. Am I right with that one?
It must be, surely.
Yes, yeah. Isn't there a third one? No, of course not. There's two in the north. Because it's that they've split it north-south. That's where it loses me.
Games this weekend, we've got Cardiff versus Barking. We've got Manchester Nottingham. Cardiff versus Sevenoaks on Sunday. Newcastle Leicester on Sunday. Cardiff Nottingham in December.
Cardiff just want to play like their game against.
Yeah, they do.
Oakland's, wasn't it? Last weekend was Oakland's had a COVID issue, so it meant that Cardiff got the default 20-point win, but they just want to they've had a delayed start to the season anyway. They just want to get out there and play. I'm
really excited to see how Cardiff go this year with friend of FocusHoops, Robin Lewis. I have the other Robin's name in my head. Robin Love. Aye. Chester comes back. You're right, Caz. All you need is people to see it. I didn't know I was a women's basketball fan until I saw it. There you go.
Awesome. Exactly. And I've taken friends to like the women's games and just basketball games in general that haven't seen it, and they've been like, "Okay, I'm into this." I
mean, I took my dad to a Manchester Giants Cheshire Phoenix game, and I was just like, "This is my world. Welcome to it. Hope you enjoy." And he was like, "Yeah, it's good, that." Yeah. I then made him watch Fenerbahce versus Real Madrid the next day. I was like, "I hate sport."
Now you're invested.
I also took him to an Anglia Ruskin Barking Abbey game last year. Not quite the same scale as those other two games in terms of the atmosphere and stuff, but he enjoyed it. He enjoyed the basketball that he saw. Is it time to go to Land Down Under?
I think it might be.
Where Caz watches basketball at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's good stuff.
It is. It's good. Hey, wake up, turn it on. It's great.
It is pretty great. I was able to cycle to work the other day, listening to the game in my ear. It was wonderful.
Yes. And don't you love the commentary? I was listening to one. I was watching a game earlier, and one of the commentators was saying, "Oh, she's making a right mess of this." Just like, I mean, they were making a mess. It was just very.
Aussie commentators do not muck about. They do not muck about. I mean, we're both big fans of the YouTube channel, and that's what I reckon. If you don't mind a bit of sweary cooking, watch. That's what I reckon. So yeah, we're all on board that. Caz, this week in the other WNBL, what's been going on? So,
there's been some things going on.
Oh, there has.
Let me start. I'll go a little bit backwards here. I want to start with this morning's game. The University of Canberra Capitals against the Perth Lynx. So.
Hang on, they're your guys, aren't they?
They're my guys, yeah. Perth are your guys, aren't they? Oh yeah, they are.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah. Who do you think won then, Caz or Daz?
Yes, definitely.
So Ashley Eisenberger is playing for Perth. She had 5 points. Did some really good plays in there. So the final result, 73-70 to Canberra, who are now top of the league. 6 wins, 1 loss, 6 straight wins. They lost their opening game, haven't looked back since. And these teams, so I don't know if we've mentioned this before, it's essentially like the Wobble. They're playing a game pretty much every other day. They've got 14 games to play in just under 6 weeks. And Perth actually had a game, so they've had a back-to-back. So this was their second game. Canberra were down for most of this game. They were trailing, and they're quite a defensive heavy team. And the coach was saying afterwards, they gave up too many points. They weren't really too happy about that. But they clawed it back. They kept coming back, and with a minute to go, they were down 3. They've got the ball, take a shot, miss, and Jade Melbourne, who is an 18-year-old playing for Canberra, did her final Year 12 exam last week. One of her teachers was one of the players on the team overseeing it.
Teachers supervised it.
Yeah, she is off to Arizona State next year. The start of next season. So she gets the rebound, dishes it down. Canberra hit the 3. Game's tied. Bit of back and forth, and then Perth have a chance to, take the lead, take a win. They miss the basket. Back down the other end, 7 seconds to go. Jade Melbourne bangs in a 3 from the baseline in the corner, and after that, they just play some great defense for 7 seconds and they win. And it was just exciting, and it's fun to see. It's fun to see someone so young doing this. So this is her 7th game in the WNBL, and she's a starter on the team. She's phenomenal, really, and she's going to have a very bright future. But the Canberra team, they're really deep. They've got Kelsey Griffin, who last night had 21 points, 12 rebounds, and they've had a few players come back from injury. But because they're so deep, they're able to let those players kind of just work their way in on a bit of a minutes restriction. Players like Britt Smart, and they are going to be a problem for a lot of teams in the league. So they played as well. So they played Southside Flyers on Sunday.
A rematch of the grand final from last year.
Yes, which they won 2-0 because they're going for the three-peat this year at Canberra. And Southside Flyers featuring Liz Cambage.
Hang on. Can I just stop you there? We gave out to Reece. Poor Reece William comes on here. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'd love to cover my favorite team, the Miami Heat," and we're like, "The Heat." He goes, "Oh, it's left ball." And you just go in there, just ball in there, like, "Yeah, I'll take the 2-time reigning champions of Australia. Don't you mind me? I'll just claim them as my own." It's all right, Caz. We know your game.
I picked them before I knew this. Maybe it was in the back of my mind somewhere.
Maybe. I'm sorry, Caz. Hey, I've completely railroaded what you were saying.
No, do you know what? It's a good bandwagon to be on. Get on it.
But those unis are.
Oh, they're nice. They're so nice. And I've come across another merchandise problem. They only ship to like Asia and America. What are we doing here in the UK? Come on, basketball leagues around the world. Send us merchandise.
Send us merch. Send us merch.
Stop making us go to countries to buy things. But yeah, so Canberra were playing Southside Flyers, and I think a lot of people probably expecting Southside to take this, especially with the way that they've been playing and how dominant Liz Cambage has been. Canberra won 95-72, which was a pretty nice upset. Cambage was dominant again, 26 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, but got into foul trouble early. She got a third foul with 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter, was arguing the call, got a technical, got the fourth. So then, as Liz Cambage does, and that really hampered them. Leilani Mitchell had a bit of a quieter game than usual, and then Canberra just took it away. But Southside Flyers did bounce back their next game against Perth. I've done this in a terrible order. Sorry if this thread has gone in a loop.
We don't need to talk about what they did against Perth.
You don't want to know? You don't want to know? Leilani Mitchell had a very good game.
Oh yeah.
20 points. She went 7 of 9 from the field. That was good. And Cambage, 23 points, 8 rebounds, and a block. Ashley Eisenberger, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists off the bench. So that was good. But unfortunately, they lost 102-62, which was probably not what they wanted. But this Southside team, they're tough. They're tough. Yeah, and Perth are very young. They're a very young team as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, some exciting stuff going on in the WNBL.
Tomorrow? No games tomorrow. Hang on a minute.
I think it's the off day, Friday.
Friday is the off day. So Saturday, we've got Townsville Heat versus Southside, and we've got Adelaide versus Sydney, and we've got is that Bendigo versus the Canberra Capitals.
The reigning champion Canberra Capitals.
There we are. The Caz getting on the hype train there.
And Adelaide have had their first game back since they've come out of quarantine. Because they're the team that have been in quarantine for it was about 10 days. It was just under 2 weeks. They lost to Melbourne 91-51, which was probably to be expected after not having played for so long. And Melbourne, again, a very good team. They lost their second game after that just by 5 points, 6 points, 6 points to Bendigo.
So there you go. It's all to play for in the WNBL Australia. Let me just, do you know what?
Oh, and Sammy Whitcomb normally plays for Perth, but has obviously taken the season off for personal reasons because her and her partner have just had a baby that came this week.
Congratulations. Congratulations to them. We're very happy for them.
It's a very cute looking baby.
Oh, all right. Let's, I love Australian sport. We know this. This is not new. This is not news to anybody. But I do love a good bit of Australian sport. I also love the NAF. Let's look at websites. It's NAF website time. All right. So the ladder. Let's just get us out of the way for a sec. The ladder. The UC Capitals 6 and under, top of the ladder, 85 win percentage. If you've never seen an Australian sports league's ladder before, they're all about the percentage. Lightning are 3 and 1. Obviously, they have been, like Caz just said, in lockdown. Fire and 5 and 2. Flyers are also 5 and 2. Missing out on the playoffs. The Boomers currently 4 and 2. Flames 2 and 4. My Perth Lynx 1 and 7. And the Spirit 0 and 7. It's not looking great for them. The structure for the playoffs for this magnificent tournament is, as with all things Australian, lovely complicated with prelim finals. So the way it works is you've got a kind of semi-final where you've got 1 versus 2nd and 3 versus 4. The winner of 1 versus 2 goes straight through to the final. The winner of 3 versus 4 plays the loser of 1 versus 2, and the winner of that game goes through to the final or the grand final, and they play. I think it's just a best of 1 this year because
it is.
The current global pandemic. That's what it is.
You should make a graphic for that so we can follow.
I will make a graphic. Apologies. It's been a week. Sorry. A graphic will be made to explain all of that.
Just so I can follow it. That was all I was thinking.
I mean, that sent us into a bit of a deep, like a wormhole the other day, didn't it, Caz, looking at the Korean Baseball League?
It did. That is wild.
I think we need that in the WBBL. I'm going to say that right now, okay? Top 5 should go into the playoffs for the BBL, okay? And 5th play 4th, but it's a best of 3 series. But the 4th team already have a 1-game head start without even having played a game, and they have to beat them in regulation. If it goes to overtime, get out of here, 5th team. You don't deserve it, right? Then 4 play 3, or the winner of 4 and 5 play 3, and then whoever wins that advances to play 2, who advances to play 1 in the final. That's right. In Korean baseball, yes, we're talking about Korean baseball on the women's podcast. Don't be worried about that. You have to beat, if you are the 5th seed, you have to beat every single other seed above you from 3 games with a game head start to the other team, to then 5, then I think it's 7. Plus, if you tie in Korean baseball, you have to replay the game. That is
It's
so
just
good.
wildly unfair.
Wildly beautiful. But what does it do? It incentivizes doing well in the league. If you win the league, you get 2 months. Well, 2 months. If you get like 4 weeks off, which can be hugely detrimental. Are the WNBL teams in Oz playing in their own arenas, or do they have some bubbles going on? Caz, explain the hub system.
They're playing in a hub, so it's a hubble.
3 hubs.
3 hubs. 1 in Cairns, 1 in Townsville, 1 in...
I want to say Brisbane, but it's not.
No, it does begin. I feel like it begins with B. 3 hubs, all in Queensland, and they are going between the arenas. They're staying in hotels. A few players seem to have family around the area, so then they pop off to see their family. So it's not like they can't leave the hotels or the area. So it's a little bit of a wider bubble in the hub. And the Cairns venue. The court is beautiful. It's a really great venue, really lovely venue. I think they were playing in Townsville earlier in the season. They moved to Cairns, and have you got it?
So kind of Sussex, don't
It's another. I'm sure it's a lovely part of Australia.
Oh, it's the McDonald's stadium. Why? What? How useless is your Wikipedia page, WNBL, that you're not just like, hey, here's the facts?
It's not the best.
I am disappointed in you for this lack of clarity. Apologies to everybody, literally everybody right now. Caz, please, Phil.
Do you want me to make it up? But yeah, so they're moving between the venues, and it's
Mackay. That's the one. It's Townsville, Cairns, and Mackay, forming the 6-week hub.
Hubble. I'm
No
not sure
imports.
where no imports as well. No, so it's all.
No
so
imports.
I think this is why a lot of the younger players have been given a chance as well, because they've been able to move up into the senior team, and they're getting the chance. Which again, like we said in the WNBA and in the Wubble, whilst it's a weird season, whilst it's been a crazy year, things like this and the restrictions that have been placed on teams and the way to be able to play, it's given players an opportunity that wouldn't normally get the opportunity, and that's only going to be a good thing for them, and it's great to be able to see, and it's great to see someone like Jelly Melbourne get a chance to do that. I mean, obviously she's going to go to Arizona State. Who knows what she's going to do after that? Like she's obviously going to be a very good player for a long time. But yeah, it's given a lot of players the chance to shine and get that experience as well, because it's a very valuable experience.
Now, we don't have much more today. What we do have coming up is we've got some really exciting player interviews that we are going to release a bit more information about on social media once they are a bit more confirmed. I think that's fair to say. I think that's sensible. Yeah. Some are going to be released as videos on YouTube and podcast and audio podcast. Some will be done live on the Caz and Daz show. We've got coming up the Eurobasket.
I keep doing that Euroleague.
Sorry, the Euroleague women's games are coming up. So we are going to firstly link you to all of those games, and we're going to try and give you as best coverage that we can on those games coming up. Does that mean that I'm going to start hassling Caz and be like, mate, shall we just record a cheeky little video in a couple of days about that and just talk through some of the teams, some of the main players, some of the main faces as a little standalone special that I've literally just sprung this on here as an idea right now, which is, again, not the best way to run a YouTube channel, but it
sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
Caz, I'm so glad.
It's good. I wasn't like, that's a terrible idea, Darren. Why would you do that?
Idea. Why would we do that? Why would we? Yeah,
what
perfect.
Are you thinking?
So yes, that might come out. We might have some stuff in down the journey. We will definitely be talking about the games that happened next week on the Caz and Daz show, because those games are soon. Those games are in December, and December is
first in 4 days.
That's I don't understand. It makes me kind of a bit queasy to think that December is literally on Tuesday. But that does mean that we've got the highest caliber of women's basketball on the planet playing on Tuesday.
And you can watch every single game on the Phoebe YouTube channel.
Yeah, you can. And we're going to link. We're going to get all the games. We're going to get all the links. We're going to get a little bit of information for you. You are going to love it. Believe me. Jess Donnelly has a question that I don't know the answer, but I think I know the answer. Has a women's club ever played in Europe? I don't think so. British women's club. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not in the modern era.
No. I mean, I can imagine the Hatters have probably played in Europe. That would be my assumption. But this is pure guesswork. If you do know, let us know. That's a great question, though. We need to investigate this.
I can tell you, though, in the 20s and 30s, the English women's basketball team did pretty well in Europe in some European competitions that don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, they won.
Yeah. Awesome. So
it's a shame you have to go back that far for the opportunity.
Just a bit, isn't it? Caz, is there anything else? Anything more this evening?
I just have a couple of really cool. Well, I think they're cool stat lines.
I think. Well, I'm here for it. I will judge if they're cool or not.
Okay. Oh, I tell
Cool
you
or
what,
not,
you can
Caz's
pick
corner.
the best one as well. You can pick the best stat line.
The best driver of the week.
Yeah. Okay, so Turkey. Galatasaray were playing Izmit. Galatasaray won 80-62. Mercedes Russell had 19 points on 9 of 9 shooting.
Whoa. Okay, that's pretty. Yeah, that's okay. That's nice.
4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, but that was my 9 of 9 field goals.
Not bad.
Brittany Sykes for Ormondspor in a 40-plus point win against Kanyak had 27 points on 12 of 15 field goals. That's 80%, and they were all 2s. Doesn't shoot 3s, but didn't in this game. And Ruthie Heberd, 34 points, 20 rebounds. Ruthie Heberd is
against who? Against who? Like, I need a bit more. Are we taxing teams right now?
So she plays for Nasibe, and they beat Besiktas 76-60. So 16-point win for Ruthie Heberd, 34 points, 20 rebounds. Brittany Sykes, 40-point win, 27 points, 12 of 15 field goals, and Galatasaray 18-point win for Mercedes Russell.
I got to go for the win over Besiktas as my stat line of the week. So that was Ruthie Hibbert, was it?
Yep, 34 points and 20 rebounds. 34 points.
She has won that game. Congratulations, Ruthie. You were your team by the sounds of things. Good on you.
Yeah, right. And she was named Player of the Week as well after that. So
best driver of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a graphic that we need to make. That's a graphic I want.
I could just picture it. It's wonderful.
It's gonna be great. All right, wonderful. Caz, is there anything else from Caz Corner?
Fenerbahce 10-0. Satu Sabli wasn't playing. She will be next week, hopefully.
Yes.
Yes. But the 10-0 Fenerbahce team. Any game with Fenerbahce in, give them a watch on the Turkish league.
There you go.
Very good.
Did we get a link to the Turkish league? Yes, we did.
We did. It's on the page.
We have links on FocusHoops.com. Check it out.
And Carly Samuelson and her sister Katie had 17 and 15 points in a 3-point just bonanza the other day. So their team shot 14 of 27, 52% from 3.
Did you catch who they?
27. Yep, they played Clarinos. Is that the right pronunciation? Clarinos. And they won 84-55.
Nice. That's a dominant win.
It is. Katie Samuelson had 4 of 6 from 3.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
You love to see it. You love to see it. I think that just about does it for us this evening.
Yes, I'd agree.
Caz nods knowingly. So huge thank you as always for checking us out. Thanks always for the comments. Chester especially, superstar. If you've got anything that you want to say, any questions to ask, any opinions to give, always welcome. Please get it into comments. Just because I think it really helps to drive episodes and just makes this even more enjoyable for us. Thanks as always for watching. Thank you for any likes that you've given this video. Thank you for any subscriptions. If you've subscribed to our YouTube or followed us on Facebook, anything you've done, just a huge thank you. It really helps us out. And it just makes all of this even that little bit more enjoyable and rewarding. So, from us here, from Caz.
I'm Caz. That's Daz.
You're Caz.
I'm Caz. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll get there again. All right. We'll talk to you soon.